Pleased to meet you.
Hey guys.
Pleased to meet you this evening for this live Q&A about Groover and music promotion. I'm looking at the chat to see if some first questions are coming in. So just to present a bit who we are. So I'm Dorian, one of the co-founders of Groover, and I'm handling all things related to the business team and the music team and the relationships between artists and music creators. And Emma, if you want to say a bit who you are.
Sure. So I'm Emma. I've joined Groover for almost 2 years now, and I help artists to use the platform. So I answer on the chat, loads of things like this. So some of you might have already talked to me in the past. I hope I helped you, and yeah, mostly helping artists use the platform, finding the best contacts for them.
Yes, usually when you're sending questions on Groover to the support window, it's either Emma answering or William, who lives in New York. And sometimes during the weekend, I'm the one answering. So we are the three people handling all your questions on Groover. And the purpose of this live is to try to answer all your questions about Groover, but also about music promotion and other things. If you have some questions about how you're developing your career as an artist or your project, we'll try to answer. And if we don't know, we'll let you know that we don't know. And we'll try to point you to some resources as well. So if you have any questions about Groover or music promotion, don't hesitate to start asking. To some resource, and we totally available to answer your questions. Maybe just to start before the first questions come in. So Groover, for those who don't know, we created the platform now a bit more than 4 years ago, and the idea first was to help artists break the wall of first listening, which means when you have a new release and you try to get in touch with media outlets, when you have a demo and you want to try to get in touch with people to give you feedback, or some record labels. Sometimes it's very complicated to get answers because those people receive so many emails that they stop answering and opening their inboxes. So what we did is try to create a platform, an atmosphere on which we know that when you send your track, you're going to get feedback guaranteed, and you're going to get your music listened to guaranteed. And the way it works, most of you know about this, but you can select the creators, music professionals, radios, record labels that you want to get in touch with. You select who you want to get in touch with. You add information about your track, especially the listening link, and a small pitch, and then you pay small amounts of money, usually €2 by contact selected. And we guarantee you that within a week, they're going to listen to your music and write you feedback, not forcibly a positive answer that the creators, the radios and record labels are totally free to answer you or not, to accept your track or not, to decide to share it or not, but they will answer. And if they don't, after 7 days, you get your credits back and you can get in touch with new ones. And we currently have an answer rate that is approximately at 90%, so very high. So when you get in touch with like 40 media outlets, for instance, or record labels, you're gonna get answers from around 36 of them and get credits to get in touch with 4 more ones. So the idea is really to guarantee you that you're going to get listened to. I see that we're starting to have some questions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I can see some from
And
Jerry.
so we have a questions from Unique Playlists, and the idea. So Unique Playlist, it has been using Groover for a long time as a curator, so someone reviewing tracks for their playlists. So hi, Jerry here from Unique Playlist, Switzerland. How is the business going on Groover? What can we expect in the next few months as artists and creators, bloggers? So do you want to start, Emma? What
Yeah,
can we
sure.
expect? You know.
Well, I think, well, obviously we're getting loads of new artists every month, but also loads of new creators. We have more than 1,700 at the moment, and it's constantly growing in like new countries. Loads of things are happening, like events, springboards in like France, in the US, in the UK as well. So I
Yeah.
think just mostly everything growing like internationally and
Yeah,
yeah.
the international growth of the community is one of the biggest things. We're growing a lot in the US right now, so a lot of US artists, but also a lot of US based creators. And the idea is also to try to grow the quality of the community of curators, the quality of feedback. We're using a lot of the data we get from feedback evaluation to try to assess what is a good feedback, a good piece of feedback, and what can bring value to the artist. So we're working a lot on that. Some other things that have changed a lot are in the artist dashboard. If you're an artist and you've been using Groover for quite some time, you'll see that like a lot of things have changed. You can now filter through, use a lot of the new options to really see your results, and try to analyze it better. And one of the things that will change a lot is also on the page where you select the creators and the professionals as an artist. You will have a new filter system that will be much more efficient. We hope so. And it will help you get in touch with the best and the most relevant contacts for you. And as a playlister, I don't know if you know that, Jerry, and you saw that on your profile, but now you can feature some specific playlists, and artists will get access to some stats about them. It's something we'll expand upon, and it's especially important to have more stats about a playlist and playlist creators. So these are some of the changes, and there are probably some other ones that will come to mind. But the idea is really to improve the experience, to grow in different areas, and try to be sure that we do a great matching on the platform. This is definitely where we're going at. So I hope it answers your questions. And if you have some other questions, don't hesitate to ask. So I have another questions from Karine. I have a question. What about mainstream promotion? I would like to promote more on this style, but I don't find on your Groover this opportunity. So do you mean that you're looking at promoting mainstream music, or more that you want to get in touch with magazines and FM radio? So if it's the first one, if you're singing in French, you can use the genre chanson and variété française. And if you're singing in English, pop rock is usually a good idea. We're thinking about having a commercial music category, but it's a bit complicated to categorize that way. The For mainstream promotion, for opportunities, we're trying to bring the best and biggest creators we can. But what we see is that magazines and traditional FM radios, they really don't discover new music, and they don't use platforms just like Groover to do that. We try to get more, like RTS FM in France is a big one, and some other ones all around the world. But it's more complicated to get very big like magazines or traditional press and FM radios. We focus a lot of our attention on big YouTube channels, big playlist curators, very cool record labels or blogs, people who also social media influencers. It's a new thing, so it's another new thing. We created the category social media influencer to be able to showcase those people who have influence and publish some great content around music on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, not a lot, but Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, so that you can get in touch with those people, especially. So this is one of the new things from the last few weeks, and we will expand upon this. I don't know if you see.
Yeah. Also, Karen, if you mean like that you want to like promote mainstream music, but you're not sure who to contact, you can send us a message on the chat, or and we can listen to your track and like tell you the genres that would fit best, so you can make the best choices for the creators.
Yeah, so I have a question here about Blue Sirens. Is there any plans to have Spotify data available for creators? So it's what I had been talking about, is now when you go to a Spotify playlist creator profile, usually if you scroll down, you can see information about that playlist, and you can click on view stats about that playlist, and you will get more information. It's a V0, but we're trying to gather more data about this, the same way as Summon Hub does it, and try to even do better. So this will be available more and more, but you can already see and scroll down on the profiles of the Spotify playlist creators to get some information about the playlist and the main playlist. And we're trying to monitor a lot this activity to try to only have creators who have impactful playlists and who only share in their most impactful playlists. So there's questions about end plans for Apple Music and other platforms like Amazon. So playlist creators mostly create on Spotify because it's one of the only platform where it's easy to do so. So it's complicated to have impact on Amazon Music and Apple Music through other people who create some playlists and stuff like that. So we try to focus on Spotify playlist creators, but if at some point we have someone who also has playlists on Apple Music, he is more than welcome. Same for Deezer. But what we've noticed is that most of them try to develop their community over Spotify. It's kind of the place where you can really have impact and your visibility by yourself without resorting to editorial playlists, which are very complicated to reach.
I know some curators actually have a few Apple Music playlists, but like most of them will have Spotify as their main playlist, and they will develop on the side like Deezer or Apple Music, but it's not like the majority of them. But sometimes they put in the bio, so you can check.
We have another interesting question, which is, does the production quality of the music matter above all else? What do you think, Emma?
I wouldn't say it matters above all else, but it's definitely something to take into account before you promote your music. Because even if the idea behind the song is good, the quality is always going to matter. For instance, if you have a playlist or radio, you don't want to like deter the users by having a bad quality music. So I would advise you to really focus on this before you promote your music. And you can also just like ask for feedback on the quality of the track. For instance, on Groover we have like sound experts that can help you and give you advice on how to improve the mix, the mastering, and make the quality of the music better. So I think it's still important.
Yeah, I can see. So about that, just a bit more about that is that if you're not sure about the production quality of your music, or if you want to get feedback about it, you can focus on sound specialists on the platform. So you can use the filters for that, select sound specialists, and try to send them your track, and they will give feedback about your production. Which is interesting. And production quality is really important to stand out, but it's not sufficient. Like we receive all the time very good quality music in terms of production, but maybe they lack a bit of originality or a very interesting proposal, a universe around the artist. And sometimes you have some very lo-fi productions, and a lot of originality or something that really talks to people, and it can work even better. So it's not the only thing, but it's very important to have, of course, like a good production quality of the music. But we're seeing some artists who have some great results with some very lo-fi music, and then they do very good production quality, and it works less. So there's no like definite rule to that, but it's definitely something you can try to master. And I see another question which is a bit linked about, is it good to introduce yourself as you want to get advice on your music? If it's the case, like if you really genuinely want to get advice on your music, definitely say it. It can be great, especially on what you want advice. Is it on your career? Is it on your production and your mixing? Give details, and it will help the creators give you accurate feedback and tell you what they think. They usually love it when you say it, especially in the personal messages on Groover. And you can also say it in the general pitch. But it can be interesting. It's not an obligation, but if it's true, you can definitely say it. And I see another question that is interesting is, how can a music press officer work closely together with you? Do you want to answer,
Yeah,
Emma?
sure. We actually have some like PR agents, press officers that use Groover. as well, because it will bring them contacts that they don't have in there already. So I think that's the case, and
Yeah, we have a lot of press offices who are using Groover for their artists, and they're either doing it and not telling their artists, and it's just part of their getting in touch with people, or sometimes they're also saying it to artists and telling them they need an additional budget to use Groover, for instance. It's definitely something you can do as a press officer. It's interesting because it can help you build new relationships, knowing that the creators are going to answer you. Maybe you won't need Groover for the future. A lot of creators prefer to use Groover for everything, but maybe you can build a relationship from there, and then expand that relationship, and that relationship will be born on Groover. But it's still great. You can definitely use Groover to help your artists get more exposure, get more feedback. We're seeing it every day with PR agents or PR offices using Groover, sometimes in a very transparent way with their artists. And they're very happy that their PR offices are using the platform for them and selecting the right contacts, because it's also about selecting the right contacts, which a PR officer can obviously do much better than a lot of players in the industry.
I think it's also a good way for like PR agents to find contacts abroad. Like you can have a big network in your hometown, in your own country, but it's a great way to expand it to like foreign markets for your artists.
Exactly, building relationships abroad in different countries. Groover can be a great way for that. Are we able to find contacts of big record labels and A&Rs in Groover? It depends what you call a big record label or A&R. We have some big indie record labels. For example, we have Bada Bing Records, who signed up we signed up in the US, and they're the first and the label of Sharon Van Etten, Beirut. So it's more indie artists, but it's a big record label, and they're giving great feedback. Same with cool record labels in France around pop and French rap, and in other places for electronic music, such as Blanco y Negro music, for instance. But it's more independent record labels who are very active in their curation and scouting, and it's less like major music players. Some of them are using Groover, but they're not saying it, and they're using it behind their own like personal project. But most of them in big record labels. The truth is, we tried. We met with all of them. Most of them, they're not very interested about discoveries, about discovering new music. They want to check music that's already working, and they want to accelerate it. They're more like an accelerator for artists who are already advanced. And so Groover is not the best tool for them for that. We're gonna go into questions. It's like kind of the same question. So do creators tend to prefer well-produced music? So the answer is yes, especially for visibility ones. But if you're getting in touch with the record labels or sound specialist or mentor, you can definitely send a demo and say that it's a demo, and get feedback on your production. Here, what do you think?
So are you planning to expand Groover into the world of DJs, something like a promo pool where DJs look for content for their sets and radio shows? I think it would be very interesting, but I don't know if it's like technically very possible right now. You know?
It's a good idea. The thing is, on Google, we will try to have artists and professionals on the other side, so that there's not like a big mess in between. Because if you put artists on the other side as well, and you pay to get in touch with artists, it makes not a lot of sense. So it would have to be a whole other feature, to get to try to expand to the world, Groover into the world of DJs can use Groover if they have playlists to receive music, also to send their productions, of course, and a lot of them are doing it. But more about like scouting music that's available. It's not something we can do for now, but it's something we have in mind in the future to try to have this. You can have a look at our playlists on Spotify. One is called especially the Hot 10, Groover Hot 10. And we have the top 10 tracks we discover every month on here. So it's not especially electronic music, but it's the top 10 tracks that made the best impression on us and got the best results. So I have a question, and I think it's gonna be for you, Emma.
Well,
So
so how many weeks before the release of my song should I create my campaign? So um, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to contact like playlists, for instance, I advise you to send the campaign on the day of the release or just after, so that you can add the Spotify link to your campaign. It will make it easier for like playlist curators to share. But you can also send it before if you want. You can send it before release to like blogs, radios. Um, you can also send it like to labels way before. Like it really depends on what you want to do. But just know that you can just create a draft at any time and then send it later when you're ready. So it's always a good thing to take a look at the list of creators, start adding them to the draft, and then when you have released the track, you can send it then. Or when you're looking to boost it again after the release, you can send it as well. So it's just, like loads of moments that you can like send a campaign for a specific track. Doesn't have to be close to release. It really depends on what you want to do. But I think we have an article about this. I'm just going to send it in the chat so you guys
yeah,
can.
it's great if you can send in the chat, because we expand about when you can send your campaign and when is the best. And it's important, as you were saying, that when it's you targeting Spotify playlists, that you wait until release day. It's usually better results. But then you can also promote a track much after a release, much more time after it was released, and it can have some great results as well. Because especially Spotify playlist creators, they don't really care when the track was released, and they care more about do they like it or not. And I see questions about if an influencer doesn't provide a command or share, does the artist get charged for submitting to them? So you pay upfront, so you pay to send music to the music creators and professionals. And if after 7 days they haven't provided a comment or decided to share, if they haven't listened to your music and provided a comment, you will get your credits back. And you can contact another curator. So it's not like getting refunded, but you get the credits back so you can make another contact. So you don't get charged the submission if you don't have an answer after 7 days. We really guarantee that they will answer to you. And there's an interesting question, which is, what if I have a higher budget? Do you have options for bigger campaign, ways to pitch to editorial playlist ahead of release? So for now, you can send big campaigns on Groover, like of course directly. A lot of people are selecting a lot of contacts. We often see people selecting almost everybody and paying, which is crazy, but they get a lot of results out of this. Another solution, so we're just trying to test this out, but we're thinking about maybe there's a way for us to handle the selection and submission of the campaign for you. If you're struggling with selecting the right contacts, and we can try to give additional support, it will obviously be more expensive. But if it's something that's interesting for you, don't hesitate to send us a message at support@groover.co. There will be a minimum pricing. It will be if you have a bigger budget, but you don't have a lot of time and you want us to handle the campaign for you, and submitting the campaign for you. It's something we can think about in the future if you're interested. So I'm looking at other questions. I lost the latest ones. Um, are these short reviews we give helping the artist? It's a really good question with new records, because I know you're using the platform a lot as a curator. It's definitely helpful. From what we're getting, the rating from the artist for the feedback is quite, on average, very good. It's over 4 out of 5, even more than that. And of course, they rate differently depending if it helped them or not. And what's interesting with that is it helps them position their music. So if you tell them and explain that to them why you don't want to share a specific track, and you give the reason, the artist will appreciate it most of the time, because they will understand why this track was, why that project is not me in your editorial line, which is important to position the music and project and know exactly where they fit. And some people give also very detailed feedback, what they liked, what they didn't like, what they feel could be improved. So it really depends on artists, but some really appreciate detailed feedback, and we can see it today. People who give like amazing feedback on Groover, and they really have amazing ratings. We give them a badge to spotlight them to the artists. So, and they get usually more answers because they give amazing feedback. Should you release a single on Spotify before you distribute your music? What do you mean distributing your music on Google? Because you need to distribute your music to get in on Spotify. Use a distributor or an aggregator, and then when it's available, you can promote it, especially to playlist creators. You can also promote it before on Groover if you have a YouTube or SoundCloud link, but you can also wait until it's released on Spotify to send it to creators and professionals on Groover. And to do the campaign, Emma must have posted in the feed the article about when we advise you to send your campaign.
Yes.
Don't hesitate to have a look. And if you have any question, you can reach out on the website to the little chat icon and ask us questions about when you want to send your music, and if you have some questions you want to ask us, so get some advice, you can always ask us through that chat icon on the website. Okay, another question from With New Records. Sorry for a second question suddenly, but as a label, is there a way to get artists as well in Groover to help our roster to be heard better? Yeah, of course. A lot of record labels do that. So you can create another account on the main page, on the Groover page, not to create a tab. You need to use different email address to do this, but it will work. And then you can also use the credits you earn as a label when you give feedback to send campaigns for your artists to other creators on the platform. So this is something that a lot of record labels do, and it's definitely interesting for you. So you can get in touch with playlist creators, media outlets, radios. I definitely advise you to try it out, because a lot of record labels use all the credits they earn for that, actually. Yes, Mike. Hey, Mike. Mike is a real expert on playlists. I actually read his book multiple times. It's an amazing book about how to get your music placed into playlists and understand things around playlists. And when I do a workshop about playlists, I use a lot of your tips. Sorry for stealing your ideas, Mike, but I always quote you and tell people they should buy your book. So I hope you won't be too pissed. So yeah, I think this is a good advice, because we see it. It's interesting to keep on the relationship with the creator after the initial placement, maybe contacting them again, either on Groover or through emails. Try to keep that relationship in order to get more placements is always a good idea, and especially whether you're an artist or an artist representative. When you get accepted on Groover, we usually advise you to follow up with them, either to thank you and to send them information about your music. We have a question that is troubling me. Do you want to answer to this, Emma?
Yes. So my distribution is with DistroKid. What would be the beneficial benefits changing over to Groover? So Groover does not distribute music at the moment yet. So I think it's good to keep your distribution with DistroKid for now, and you can then use Groover to promote your music. Just like the next step after you've distributed it and you want the most people to hear the song, the singles that you've released, to use Groover to send it to like playlists, radios, blogs, But we don't really do distribution for now.
Yeah, we don't do distribution for now, but we have some partnerships, and we especially have a partnership with TuneCore right now. And they have the great new offers, because before they were more expensive, and now they're less expensive than DistroKid. So don't hesitate to have a look. CD Baby is also nice, and in France, Wise Band is also working great, a bit differently. You have a lot of options. You probably can find some tables to compare distributors on Google. And if you want to get advice about distribution in general, or all the things in general, we have the Groover blog. That is a great resource that you can go to get some advice about very various things. So don't hesitate to have a look. What's the outlet called? I don't know what outlet it was. Sorry. If you want to ask again and say what it was about, I don't remember what it was especially about. Um, what is the best way to know who is the best creator for us as an artist? So, do you want to
Sure.
answer, Emma?
So to know the best creators for you on Groover, I advise you to use the filters in your campaign. So when you have the list of curators, the selection step of your campaign, you can use the filters to filter by like music genre, country, type of pro, and using this will really define the list according to what you need. And also, I advise you to take a look at the creator's profile, and also maybe the website or the playlist if you're not too sure if your music would fit into the editorial line, because the targeting is very important on Groover. So if you're not sure, you can always check like their website, their playlist. It will give you much more information. But you can also just like use the filters, take a quick look at the preferences on the profile. And if you're really not sure, you can ask us in the chat on the platform. We can listen to your track and help you, give you some recommendations for what's best for you. So yeah.
I see an interesting question, which is, it would be possible to join a Telegram or WhatsApp group for artists to work and help each other? It's a very, very good question. So it wasn't planned at all, and it's not ready. So it's going to be very messy, but we tried to set up some kind of Discord thing. Forums on which we can answer questions, and you can also ask each other questions and answer them. So I'm sending you in the conversation an invite link. If you want to join, maybe it won't work, but if you want to all join, maybe it will start the community here. You're very welcome to join it. It's a Discord around Groover, but all of the questions you have, you can ask them, and we'll try to answer them. And also, you can also get in touch with each other. So don't hesitate to try to join. If it doesn't work, let us know, because I just like went to see how to have an invite link to our Discord. So it should be okay. And then I think there's a welcome room on which you can say verification and roles, and on there you can say if you're an artist or a curator or just curious, and then you will be sent to different meetup rooms and stuff like that. So I can see there's already some people signing up, which is cool, and the whole Groover team is on there. So if you have some questions, don't hesitate to ask, and we'll try to clean up this Discord. But yeah, please join. We can see there are some new people joining in, so this is good. We'll see. So already 3 new members. If this is great, this is gonna be big.
Exciting.
I don't know. Okay. Here. By the way, thanks for the quick, always very friendly support, but I missed a direct line to the developer coder of the website for any suggestions for improvement have not been getting implemented. So it's not about getting a direct line to the developers, unfortunately. It will be more messy than anything. So what we do is when we get your suggestions, we make some tickets and we try to prioritize them. To give you an idea, we have a roadmap of like 200 to 300 things we wanted to push, and we prioritize them in the business team. And then the tech team and the product team are deciding which things are going to be pushed. And usually there's a direction during a few months where we work especially on a specific thing, and we only do things around that. But there can be some debug and stuff, but don't hesitate to always give your feedback on the support. We always getting it to the product team. I can promise Emma and myself do it.
Nice.
If it's not implemented, it's because we have so many other priorities to do, but it's still in the list. It's just that we're not trying to develop everything that is requested, because there are so many things that are requested and it could be very messy. So we try to build something over time that's very strong and goes step by step. around that, and that way we try to prioritize the requests. We've been working a lot for artists recently and on their dashboard because it was very old. And we'll be working on improvements for curators in the works to come. Maybe you saw that we improved all the responsiveness of the dashboard on the creator side. So it should be much more usable on phone, mobile, and website right now. And we also implemented some other things. So yeah, don't hesitate to always share your feedback to us. We love to receive it, and we'll try and we will always get it to the product team and try to implement it. Why is it a week for playlists to respond? Waiting a week or longer for response in the chat doesn't help my song build momentum at times. The choice of a week was to give a bit more time to creators to answer and not being a factory of answers and feedback. Actually, what we see a lot in terms of trends is that what is the most important for your track is the 28 to 60 first days regarding algorithmic stats, and actually getting into playlists a few weeks after you release is a good thing, because it will build up the momentum and not having everything on release day and then going down, which is something that Spotify doesn't like a lot at all. And it can help get you to discover weekly playlists by having a steady rising audience that you can get with playlists that you got after a few days. A lot of playlists answer straight away, so they don't all answer after 7 days. Something to keep in mind, and it's also helping you get playlist ads day over day, so that you try to you able to get feedback and all week long, all month long. So. Hello, Dorian and Emma. You beat here. Congrats for the amazing platform. Thank you. It's a lot of work. We try to improve a lot of things at the same time, as I was saying to unique playlists. And it's not that easy to push a new thing. And a lot of things are disruptive to each other. So we need to make choices all the time and to prioritize, but we're getting better and better on the technical side. So we're able to push new things at a faster pace. So you should see a lot of new things in the weeks to come. I've been thinking of making a playlist with the music and a label's music together. I do run the label alone. It's a good idea. It's better if you build up momentum and followers on your playlist before you showcase it on Groover. But it's definitely something that can be interesting on your end to build one, and to use it as a channel of getting people to listen to your music. So a more general question, how do creators get paid to review music when music is submitted by artists? Do you want to describe a bit the process, Emma?
Sure. So when you send your music to creators, so most of them will cost you €2. So €1 will go to Groover and €1 will go to the curator. Sorry. It doesn't change whether they accept the track or they just want to give you feedback. They will still get the €1. It's just to respect their editorial line and keep things very clear. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. You get credits in your wallet, and after you reach 20 groovies, you can request a cash out, and we try to make those cash outs happen within 3 days. Usually it's shorter than that. Sometimes it can be a bit more if we totally head over underwater. But it's usually between 3 days. We make all the payments when you request them through PayPal or also wire transfer, bank transfer if you're in Europe. Interesting question about the budget. Maybe Emma, you can post the article about the
Yes,
budget at the same time I'm answering. So we have an article explaining everything about that. The minimum and maximum budget for the campaign. So you need to pay at least €10, and we thinking about raising a bit this amount, but it's not done yet. But €10 is the minimum. But usually €10 campaign don't get very good results. The average is closer to 50 to 60 euros or dollars invested. Now it's almost the same. But we have some artists contacting almost all curators and paying 2,000. It happens, and a lot of people are paying more than 100 every day. So it definitely depends on how many contacts you find are relevant to you. And also your style of music, if you're in a niche or if you have a lot of people you can get in touch with. Also, if you're getting some results with your first campaigns and you want to expand the reach, it definitely depends on the results you get, and if you have budget, of course. So, as I was mentioning, if you're totally lost on Groover and you have some budget and you want us to maybe send a campaign for you, it's something we're going to try to do until the end of October as a test. So don't hesitate to send us a message to support@groover.co with your budget, the link to your music, and what you're looking at, so we can try to see if we can send the campaign for you, and if it can work. It's definitely something we want to try because we have a tool in house to do that, but we'll see if it's interesting for you, especially if you're a bit lost in the list of creators on the platform. I see a lot of people joining on Discord. It's great. Uh, I didn't expect to do that today, but it's a good task I can tick on my list. And no, it's a cool thing. So we have a question, but I just putting it because destroy kid. Is it like a joke about like the fact that it's not a good service, or is it like because it's distro kit, like distro distribution kit, but maybe it's a joke. I like it, destroy kit. Yeah, but they're nice actually, DistroKid. But you can try TuneCore, CD Baby as well. All of them basically give the same service, but recently with the new offers, we like what TuneCore is doing because it's $15 per year, and you can release as many tracks as you want, as many releases as you want. So it's really cheap, and that way you can really, if you're producing and releasing a lot, use one of the best. DistroKid has the same offer, a bit more expensive. I think it's $20, but it's almost the same. They were the ones who created that kind of offer. But you can definitely have a look at the different ones and the options to get interesting things. I know that since we have a partnership with TuneCore, if you sign up to the unlimited plans, you will get, I think, an email with the code with a good discount for Groover. But yeah, so stay with us because we'll share at the end of the live a discount code, a promo code, so you can have a 10% discount on your next campaign, whatever it is, whether it is the first one or not. So I have a question. Simple. If I'd like 10,000 people listen to my singles on first day and have great people of the industry to reach more audience, what type of people shall be the aim of my campaign? It's less about the first day than the first weeks. The importance is to keep up the momentum during the first weeks. So 10,000 people can be interesting, but on the first day, it's complicated with the Groover campaign. You can still reach out to media outlets and radios before, or try to reach out to Spotify playlists before you release, but most of the times they will maybe want to not share your track because you send it without the Spotify link. But you can reach out to 10,000 people listening to your track in the first 30 days is already a good thing, because you will trigger Discover Weekly in the algorithmic playlist on Spotify. But something you can do, and the type of people in your campaign should be Spotify playlists, especially if you want to get people listen. Also, YouTube channel is a good idea, and media outlets, it can be great as well, because they will share the news about the music. And also social media influencers are great targets, most probably. Okay. Okay, can you answer to this one, Emma?
How can
One
Groover
from
help?
LinkedIn. It's the first one we streaming to LinkedIn. I don't know how many people are there. Maybe a lot, maybe not. Like if someone knows how many people are watching the live on LinkedIn, let us know. Yeah. So Emma, don't hesitate.
So, how can Groover help emerging artists to really target their limited promo budget effectively versus a general strategy of throwing shit against the wall and hoping that something will stick? So you said it, you really have to target if you want to have good results with your campaign. So Groover is going to like match the creators that like the genres that you put into your artist profile. So it's going to help you really see the interesting creators for you. Um, and you can also use the filters to really define the best creators that you can get for your music. It's going to be like loads of niche creators, blogs and media that have like very high engagement with like their audience. So it can really help you with the promo. But you can also like if you want to only dedicate your budget to like playlists, you can do it on Groover. So I think it's a good way to like it's like you do it however you want. Like you can define your own budget. Like we said, it's better to contact at least 50 creators for a campaign, but you can also define your own promotion. Like if you want to focus on media, if you want to more contact labels for your next single. So I think it's how Groover can help you.
Yes, you totally said it. Spending some time using the filters and exploring the profiles to really choose the ones you want to get in touch with is the great idea, the best idea to try to focus your budget. We still advise you to select at least 30 and ideally 50 creators and professionals, because we saw that the satisfaction is much better when you do that, because you're receiving so many more pieces of feedback that when you do just a very short, small campaign. It's really night and day in terms of satisfaction and the value you're getting. But you can really limit it to your budget and select the ones through the filters that you want to get in touch with. The idea is the more time you spend selecting the right ones, the better the results will be. And also over time with a new campaign, you can also build upon the ones who already accepted your previous track. So you can really build upon that and select new ones that join the platform in between. Um, so a cool message from Matteo about when UB discovered a lot of talented artists for Guru, and we're very curious to open the dashboard, and that's so cool. Thank you so much, Matteo. Yeah, it's a good thing to read that for us. Yeah, we're getting a lot of cool feedback and messages every day. We're also getting some not that cool messages of people who have like experienced a bug or something, but these messages are really like what makes our day, because we spend a lot of time working on the platform and helping artists and creators and professionals. So this helps really a lot. So okay. Would there be in the future a discount for influencers who do reviews on Groover who want to promote their own artist? With this set in stone €2. It's €2, but if you do 2 reviews and you want to use that to promote your artist, you can send your groovies from your creator account to your artist and representative account. So you can use the credits you earn to do your promotion if you don't want to pay money. There's not like something planned for that yet, but we might think about it. It's something that could be interesting. We'll see. We're thinking about it. Maybe we'll test it out at some point for you to. Maybe you can send 2 groovies and you get actually 3 groovies on the other side, so you can send your track to more creators than if you cash out your money. We'll see. But it could be interesting. So we still have the question about when submitting to media, how many days, weeks in advance should you submit it yourself? So maybe Emma, you can publish again the article on when to submit the track. So we have an article in our FAQ that is explaining that a lot. And especially the fact that the best day is release day, but you can also get in touch with people before, especially media outlets and radios. But for Spotify playlist creators, you should wait until release day. And then you can also send a track, submit a track months after release, years even, and still get some really good results on Groover. So keep on promoting is the advice we can give you, because your track can get momentum much after the release, and it's cool to keep up the momentum. Maybe you can answer this one, Emma.
So, what are creators usually looking for besides good music when they choose to continue working with an artist to build a solid relationship? So I think the most important thing would be, besides good music, would be that the music is really, really aligned with like their vision and what they want to share. If you when you say creators, I suppose you say like media influencers and playlists. So they have an audience that they have like that they are curating the songs for. So I think the most important thing to build the relationship in the long term is to really be in that one genre, subgenre, the mood that they have. And then you can continue to send them the tracks. You can, if they leave you their email address, you can also try to send them your new tracks via email and see if you can build a relationship there. So I think that would be the most important thing. And also just like being friendly, basic stuff.
So I see a question. I will answer for that. But my call link is able to get them to a single even when it's out. And the second part was sorry, but it's because you say you cannot send them the link. So you can send a pre-save link. You can send it to someone, but they won't be able to listen to the track through that to add the track to a playlist. They can add it in advance or plan it, but they will also need to listen to it, and it's an integration we cannot do for now. So we cannot schedule to have the release atlas if it's not released yet because there's no like certainty about it. It's not something that's easy to do for now. So you can send them like a preview YouTube or SoundCloud link on Groover and also your pre-save link in the campaign. But most of the time, what happens it's because it's the reason why we advising that is that playlist creators they prefer when the track is already released so they can add it right now in the playlist. When it's not, it can be a reason for them to reject. It's more behavior we've seen that they prefer when they're listening to a track that it's already released so they can add it to a place and rearrange it at that time. Okay, so I haven't read it before. Are you planning to create a sort of feed page with public submissions and filters by genres chart of most supported, or will you keep the contact private between artists and creators? For now, it will be made private. But if you want to get a sense of the top submissions that are sent on Groover, you can go to the Groover Hot 10 on Spotify, and you can also go to Groover Obsessions, which is an accelerator we created for artists, on which we have a lot of artists we support that we discovered on Groover and that had really great results. So don't hesitate to have a look at Groover Obsessions and the Groover Hot 10. Maybe we'll create some sort of public chart at some point, but for now we like focus on so many priorities that we cannot work on this. But maybe in 6 months or a year or so, if things go well, we will be able to work on these kind of like features that can be really interesting for you, of course. Okay. Okay. Still the question about sending link to Mon before. So you can send a YouTube or SoundCloud link, as I was saying, just mentioning in case it wasn't clear. But the pre-save link, it won't work on Groover because they prefer to receive the link of this on Spotify with the track already released for Spotify playlists. Track. Should I voice sending track? So it depends on your music, on the language. Lots of creators are open to many languages, and you have languages preferences. So I suggest you always select your language. Like if you sing in Italian, for instance, which maybe is your case, you can take Italian, and you will know on the profiles, and we'll also send you a pop-up, sending you a pop-up window telling you that that creator doesn't accept Italian, for instance, so that you don't waste your money and your time on that. Um, do you have maybe we have another one? Um, okay. Do you want to answer this one? So it's still like around the same matter of timing, which is very, very important, but maybe you can
Yeah, sure.
answer.
So I'm signed and have my album and singles ready to go. First release November 4th. Should I wait before submitting my track? So we're late September. So if you're looking to target playlists, it's early, because you should always wait before the release. To the target playlist, so you can add the track link to your campaign. It just makes it easier for them to share. But if you're looking to contact labels, managers, booking agents, you can just contact them at any time. You don't have to wait before or after release. And concerning the media, like radio, blogs, etc. So if you want to really promote the release and gain visibility, um, I think you could wait a little bit. We advise to wait like maybe 2 weeks before the release. You can always send it before if you want to, if you really want to be like ahead of the game. But you can wait a little bit because they will just accept the track and wait for you to add like the files and stuff. So you can do it, but I think
You can get some feedback in advance. Of course, it may be a bit early. Usually, we advise for no more than 1 month before, and ideally more than one week or 2 weeks before. But if you want to get some early feedback, you can do a test campaign before with media outlets in particular and radio stations. But I would advise you to wait until like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before release to send your first campaign. And then maybe you can send another campaign on release day, to especially to Spotify playlist curators, for instance. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, there's this question, and I have actually a question for you. For now, it's not possible because we're dealing with the current system we have. We aim at doing something a bit better for that. Do you have ideas of ways we could cash out easily the groovies to an American person? So if you're in Europe, you can use wire transfer options. But if you're not in Europe, it will be PayPal for now. If you have some other ideas of services, we probably can explore that in the year to come to try to integrate some new methods for you to cash out. But if you're not in Europe, for now, it will be mostly PayPal, which didn't seem to create a lot of issues. And especially right now with the currency exchange rate, it's really favorable for you to withdraw your money because the dollar has raised a lot compared to euros. So um, you can it's a good idea to cash out right now if you want to. No, actually, it's not favorable for you. Maybe keep your money in your wallet until like the euro is getting stronger compared to the dollar, so you can cash it at this time and you get more money if you're in the US, of course. Um, so I can see one question, and maybe we'll take one and also another and a last question, and then we'll send the promo code and send you farewell. This one is for how to get hired for internships at Groover. So Emma, do you want to talk a
yeah,
bit about this because you started as an
yes.
intern? So
Yes, I started as an intern at Groover, so I know a bit how it works. So if you want to get hired, you can find the actual job listings on. I'll send a link in the chat after.
send
Well,
it. Yeah.
is the link. You can take a look at this. Apply to the internship listings. If you don't see any that you think you would fit into, you can send a spontaneous application. And if we only accept French applications for internships, I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
No, we
Only?
don't.
No?
We don't.
Okay.
Usually, we prefer when interns can come to the office here, but we totally open. It depends on your profile and what you do. So we open to applications from people that are coming from elsewhere, especially for some specific roles. But it's very it depends, like really on your motivation and your profile. I think I have a better accent now than in the beginning of the call. It's really weird. I think I hadn't spoken English in a lot of time, in a long time, and now I'm getting a better accent. It's weird. I can see that I'm like more at ease with talking. Okay, sorry. I'll stop like telling about my life. So there's one last question I see here, which is: do you submit to sync playlists? You we don't submit a sync playlist, but you can get in touch with some sync supervisors and some publishers on the platform. You can use the filters to target sync supervisors, and also publishing company, and try to send your tracks to them to get some partners for this. We don't submit to sync playlists for now. It's something we've been exploring, but we don't understand a lot, and there are so many people doing that. So it's complicated to be relevant in that space since there are already a lot of people. Hey Mike, yeah, of course. When you come to Paris, let us know, and you can come to the office. It would be amazing. We're in Bastille in the center, and the office is amazing. I'm in the office right now, but I can show you a bit. It's just upstairs, so it's very like clean here. But downstairs is really nice, like a small house, very fun and friendly, and it's really a really cool place to work. Um, On language, is there an option for others? For example, is it Afrobeats? I use Broken, Pidgin. How do I select that as a language option? I don't remember, but I think there is. Maybe there is not. And if there is not, it's a ticket we asked for. So it's something we've been exploring, and it will be there at some point. If you don't find your language and you don't find the other option, the best is to not select any language, and just be careful on the profiles that you select the ones who accept all languages, so that you can really target those ones, and you can really target Afrobeats in the styles, so you can submit your music to the people who like Afrobeats. I can see your question about having a dark mode. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's something we want to have at some point. Not right now, but at some point, what will be. Um, and maybe last question, what do you think, Emma?
So, do I have to? No, sorry. Should I be prompt in getting reviews done ahead of time, like 2 days instead of the longer allotted 7 days? Well, it's always good if you can like be ahead of like the submissions that you have. I advise you to do as much as you can at once, but it's fine to wait until then. It just it makes it like less easy if you wait until the end and then you have a sudden event that you have to attend or something. So it's always good to be a little bit ahead, but it's up
Yeah,
to
it
you.
doesn't have impact on your presence on the platform or your. But artists like to receive answers earlier, so it's definitely something you can try to do. So I'm showing this, which is a 10% discount code on your next Groover campaign if you send it this week. Actually, I'm gonna update this. If you send it this week, it will be a 15% one, which is better. And if you send it after, it will be only 10%. So if you send it before the end of September, before the end of this week, let's say, it will be 15%, even if it's called Let's Promote 10. So it's the same code, but I will set it now at 15%. Let's go. Okay. But if you use it, so it's 15%. I will change this. But if you use it afterwards, it will be only 10%. But at least, so don't hesitate if you want to send a campaign before the end of this week. It's a good occasion to get a cool discount, especially if you expect to send a big campaign, because it will help you select even more curators and pros, or save some money. So don't hesitate to use it. Thanks a lot. I don't know if there are some other questions, but I can see a first thank you message, so people have understood that it's gonna be the end.
Thank you,
Uh,
guys.
yes, exactly. Thank you very much for everything, and it's a pleasure always. So many interesting questions. I will send again the link to the Discord, so if you want to join, you'll be the very first ones to join, apart from the group team. So it's totally exclusive. Don't hesitate to come, ask your questions, talk with people, meet people, ask us questions, ask artists questions. We'd love to make it a place where there are a lot of interactions. So it would be amazing if you join, of course. You can use this code BESTPROMO10 whenever you want. Um, uh, on the link for promotion. So white label is saying I can't click on the link for promotion. You mean for the Discord? For the promotion. So it's not a link for the promotion. It's more, it's best promote 10. It's a code you can use on Groover. So it's a code. And this is how you can use it. I will send this here. This is how you can use it. You need to start a campaign, select your curators, and then on the page where there's the 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 list and the recap of your campaign, you can put the code best promote 10, which is here. And it will work if you use it for 15% before the end of the month. And I just sent an article explaining how to apply the code, if you can help. Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. I see that there are still a lot of people on the live. Thank you so much for everything. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to using the chat on the website is the best way to reach out to us. And you can also ask your questions on the Discord now, which is a new thing. And thank you, everybody. So
thank you, guys.
It was great.
See you soon.
I'm gonna end this stream. See you soon. Thank you.
Bye, guys.